Chapter 3657. Han Yueyao. Su Yu's tone was especially gentle this time. But the gentler he was, the more frightened Han Yueyao was. President Su, leave my body intact. Seeing Han Yueyao's reaction, Su Yu was both angry and amused. Little Bean hid behind Han Yueyao. She had thought the woman would immediately tell Su Yu that she bumped into her. But Han Yueyao didn't mention that she was bumped into by a kid. Hey, I admit defeat. I've grown up and I admit defeat to you. I'll go change my clothes. Although Su Yu was angry, he didn't waste time. She found a lounge and went in. Then, she took a new shirt from Chin Chu and changed. After Su Yu left, Han Yueyao turned around. She looked at Little Bean who was hiding by the table. Come out. Have you seen enough? Why didn't you say I bumped into you? Whether you bumped into me or not, I spilled the wine. So I apologized. Han Yueyao was optimistic. You're reasonable. Little Bean chuckled. So, don't you want to apologize to me? Han Yueyao squatted down and looked at Little Bean with interest. I did it on purpose. On purpose? Han Yueyao was surprised. It's a prank, a kid's prank. Do you understand? I don't understand. Do you want me to do it again? No. Don't do it again. I understand. If you do it again, I'll be fine. But Su Yu will skin me alive. Aren't you his girlfriend? Why would he skin you alive? Little Bean didn't believe her. Even if you're his girlfriend, you can't do whatever you want. Don't you know that you won't die if you don't ask for it? Ha! So you're afraid of handsome Su? Yeah, I'm scared of him. I'm so scared of him. Little Bean laughed smugly. So I forgive you this time. If you dare to be naughty again, I'll tell your mommy. Do you know who my mommy is? There were so many kids on the cruise ship. How could this woman know which family she was from? Please, there's only one pair of twins here. All right, everyone on Earth knows that you're Dr. Hua and President Qin's daughter. Little Bean didn't expect this woman to be so smart. All right, you win. My name is Pudding. If you want to complain, go ahead. I'm not afraid. Little Bean wanted her sister to be the scapegoat. However, Han Yueyao wasn't so easily fooled. You're trying to trick me again. Look at how naughty and lively you are. You must be Little Bean. No. I'm your sister. I'm Pudding. Han Yueyao stood up unhurriedly and yelled at the little girl who looked exactly the same as her. Pudding. Pudding heard someone calling her that day and turned around abruptly. Little Bean covered her face in embarrassment, turned around, and ran away. She wanted to tease Handsome Su's new girlfriend, but she didn't expect Handsome Su to see through her. Hearing Han Yueyao's call, Pudding walked over slowly. Auntie, did you call me? Yeah, I just wanted to know who's Pudding and who's Little Bean. Su Yu often talks about you. Han Yueyao tried to smooth things over. Oh, I see. Do you want to eat something? I'll get it for you. Han Yueyao smiled. No, I'm not hungry. Thank you, Auntie. Pudding greeted her politely and turned to leave. Sure enough, the two sisters had completely different personalities. Compared to Little Bean, Pudding was much quieter and had a touch of sadness in her eyes. After Wei Ying came in, she chatted with her friends in the circle. She didn't notice Xianxia at first and didn't see him until someone reminded her. Young Master Shin is here. Chapter 3658. Hearing that Xianxia was here, Wei Ying subconsciously looked at the door. He was wearing a beige casual outfit and walked in alone. That's right, he walked in alone. Wei Ying was relieved that Hui Yanyan wasn't there. At this moment, someone in the industry said, Young Master Shin looks more and more haggard recently. I wonder if that vixen Hui Yanyan sucked all his essence dry. With that, the women laughed lewdly. Wei Ying was very uncomfortable to hear this. If it was before, everyone could tease him as much as they wanted. But recently, Xianxia was indeed at his lowest point. The relationship between Xianxia and Hui Yanyan kept going back and forth and caused a lot of commotion. The Wei family had already refused to work with the Shen family. As for the Tang family, because the older generation was more traditional, they were unwilling to work with this guy with a tarnished reputation. Tang Chuan didn't care about the family business, so naturally, he couldn't help. Su Yu was the only one who didn't plan to work with Shen Mingxi, but Shen Mingxi didn't invest in film and television. Therefore, he didn't have many opportunities to work with Su Yu. For some reason, the Yi family deliberately suppressed him. There were rumors outside. After Shen Mingxi's father had a heart transplant, he went to the United States to recuperate. His mother had also gone, and now he was holding the fort alone. However, he didn't know how long he could hold on. After Hui Yanyan returned, she seemed to have calmed down a lot on the surface. However, she still did a lot of bad things behind his back. She no longer cared about her reputation, so she took advantage of her shamelessness. She even seduced those old men. In the end, Shen Mingxi was implicated by her infamous reputation. Of course, she didn't have the ability to make those business moguls work together to suppress Shen Mingxi. She only used her identity as Shen Mingxi's girlfriend to ruin his reputation. Then she let the media distort the report and cause the Shen family's business to decline. Of course, there must be someone supporting Hui Yanyan behind the scenes. Otherwise, where would she get the money to eat and use, including the money to deliberately smear the Shen family's reputation? Shen Mingxi had become more and more low-key. If it were anyone else, they would have already found someone to break Hui Yanyan's legs. However, Shen Mingxi had always cared about the fact that she was Tiantian's only family in this world. She was Tiantian's mother. Therefore, he didn't do anything to her. However, Hui Yanyan, this woman, not only didn't feel grateful, she became even worse. Young Master Shin is so funny, this cuckold, ha. That's right. If it were any other man, they wouldn't have been able to take it. Hui Yanyan is such a troublemaker, yet he can still tolerate it. No wonder everyone calls him the Ninja Turtle. Ha! Hearing the mockery, Wei Ying finally couldn't take it anymore. Stop talking. Xiao Ying, don't tell me you still have feelings for him. It's not that we want to nag at you, but he's just like a stray dog now. How can he be worthy of you? The Shen family's stock market is shrinking. I'm afraid their total assets are less than 1% of your family's. You shouldn't have anything to do with such a person. That's right, Xiao Ying. The media reports are really bad. Everyone is avoiding him like he's the plague. Don't get yourself into trouble at this time. You'll bring shame to the Wei family. These little sisters were all talking at once. But Wei Ying didn't listen to him. She stood up and walked toward the door. Shen Mingxi walked in and saw Wei Ying. But he didn't seem to want to greet her. He turned around and was about to leave when Wei Ying called out to him. Big brother Mingxi. Xiao Ying, you're here too. Shen Mingxi had to stop and greet her reluctantly. You saw me and still wanted to leave. I don't understand why you're avoiding me. Wei Ying stared at Shen Mingxi's face with displeasure. Chapter 3659. Oh, I didn't. I saw you chatting with your friends and didn't want to disturb you. I don't believe you. Is that true? Wei Ying looked at Shen Mingxi sadly. After Su Xiaoxiao reminded her at the KTV, she went downstairs to see him. They hadn't seen each other until now. During this time, Wei Ying tried to send Shen Mingxi WeChat messages, but he didn't reply. But he liked Wei Ying's posts on WeChat moments. Wei Ying was confused. What was going on with him? He wasn't heartless. Every time they saw each other, they still felt like a couple. But now, when they met, she felt strange. Ying, I've been in a lot of bad news lately. I know. The company isn't doing well. My dad went to the U.S. for treatment, so I'm really tired. I know. So I don't look like I'm in a good state. You should stay away from me in case I bring bad news to you. What do you mean? I'm thinking about you. I don't need you to think about me. You didn't think about me before, and I don't need your fake kindness now. Wei Ying was angry at Shen Mingxi's behavior. He proposed to her and sent her flowers on Valentine's Day. Then he showed all kinds of concern and waited for her downstairs. Now he was telling her to stay away from him so she wouldn't be implicated. What did he mean by that? Then think of it as fake kindness. Shen Mingxi tilted his head and licked his dry lips. He had been under a lot of pressure recently, so he thought a lot. Maybe he really couldn't give Wei Ying happiness anymore. Shen Mingxi, are you a kid? You were the one who wanted to marry me, And you were the one who wanted to divorce me. Later, you were the one who proposed to make peace with me, and now you're the one who wants me to stay away from you. What do you want? Don't you think your actions are contradictory? Wei Ying questioned him harshly. Then think of me as a psycho. Maybe I'm just a lunatic like Hui Yanyan. Then, Shen Mingxi stood up and left. Wei Ying stayed where she was, feeling empty in her heart. Ying, why are you standing at the door? It's cold. Yi Zhaoyang came over at some point. He took off his suit jacket and put it on Wei Ying. I don't need it. Wei Ying took it off and threw it into his hand. Then, she turned around and walked away, not giving the Yi family kid any face. Not far away, Huamin and Qin Chu were standing at the entrance of the lounge upstairs, hand in hand, watching the crowd coming and going downstairs. Hubby, didn't you say that this is just a gathering of close friends? Why are there so many people here? Did you send out the invitations? Huamin was a little surprised. Even the Yi family could come in. How is this a birthday celebration? This was a business gathering, right? These are the invitations sent out by the Tang family. Because Tang Chuan is the organizer, many members of the Tang family came. But the Tang family also brought many friends. I can't stop them at the door, can I? I knew it wasn't you. Huamin smiled. Mian, are you hiding something from me? No, why do you suddenly ask? Huamin pretended to be calm. I just feel that you haven't been yourself since you came back from work this afternoon. Qin Chu reached out and smoothed her long hair. Oh, maybe I'm too tired from work? Huamin didn't tell Qin Chu her secret. Even now, she still didn't want to talk about Huasiqian. Because it was a part of her nightmare. At this moment, a commotion came from the entrance. Someone yelled, Look! That woman Hui Yanyan is here. How dare she come here? Chapter 3660. Qin Chu and Huamin both turned around. They looked down at the entrance from the second floor. Sure enough, it was Hui Yanyan. She was dressed coquettishly because half of her chest was exposed in the gown. The slit at the bottom was also very high. When she walked, her long legs swayed. It was a very scheming outfit. I have an invitation. Why can't you let me in? Hui Yanyan argued with the bodyguards at the entrance. The bodyguards that came tonight had been protecting Huamin for a long time, so they naturally knew that this woman and a young lady were incompatible. So they refused to let her in. You can't go in even if you have an invitation. Why can't I go in? Hui Yanyan raised her voice as if she wanted to attract the attention of the media. At this time, the media had already come over carefully to secretly record. No reason. We just won't let you in. Most of the bodyguards were very good at fighting, but they weren't very smart with words. So, they couldn't give a reason. They just insisted on not letting Hui Yanyan in. Everyone come and see. Huamin's bodyguards are so unreasonable. I have an invitation, but I can't go in. Aren't they deliberately making fun of me? If you don't let me in, then I'll block the entrance today and make sure no one else can go in. Hui Yanyan was deliberately making a scene to create an awkward situation. The two bodyguards looked at each other and went up to Hui Yanyan to pull her away by her arms. Help! Huamin's bodyguards are molesting me. As soon as the bodyguards touched Hui Yanyan's arms, she screamed. Obviously, she had already thought of a countermeasure. More and more people came to watch. There were all kinds of people pointing and talking. At this time, Huamin walked up. Let her go. A young lady, okay, you guys can leave. I'll handle this. Yes. The main character is here. Hui Yanyan smiled hypocritically. What do you want now? Of course, I'm here to celebrate your birthday, my good sister. Hui Yanyan deliberately emphasized the word, sister, with a strong sense of sarcasm. You flatter me. I don't have a sister as capable as Hua, Huamin replied in a sarcastic tone. We share the same surname, so of course we're capable. You don't have to be polite with me. But, my good sister, I'll let bygones be bygones. I'll let bygones be bygones when you killed my mom and my brother. I'll let bygones be bygones when you colluded with Huasiqian to take away my Mingxi and Tiantian for her sister-in-law, Wei Ying. I'll let bygones be bygones when you colluded with Jiang Shaowei to help her sister-in-law, Wei Ying, take away my Mingxi and Tiantian. I'll even let bygones be bygones when you colluded with your husband and the director of the Municipal Public Security Bureau to send me to a mental hospital. Are you afraid of me? Afraid of you? I'm sorry, but I've never cared about you. I didn't think you could cause any trouble in the past few years. Don't you know how capable you are? Although they were in public, Huamin's words were sharp and didn't give Hua Yanyan any face. I'm here to celebrate your birthday. Why did your bodyguards bar me from entering? I don't remember sending you an invitation, right? Huamin didn't answer her question. Instead, he asked about the invitation. Of course not. It's written in black and white. My invitation isn't fake. Hua Yanyan held the invitation smugly in her hand. She wanted to tell Huamin that she had the ability to get the invitation. Oh, I forgot. You and young Master Yi are allies now. Getting the invitation is a piece of cake for you. Huamin nodded calmly. What nonsense are you talking about? Hua Yanyan's expression changed. At this moment, Yi Zhaoyang standing beside Wei Ying also looked terrified. You know Hua Yanyan? Wei Ying reacted and questioned him angrily. Chapter 3661. No, I don't know him. Then why did you say that, Sister Mion? Maybe. Dr. Hua wasn't talking about me. After all, there are many people with the surname Yi. Yi Zhaoyang looked guilty. You know best whether I'm talking nonsense or not. Don't think that you can rest easy just because he got you out of the mental hospital. Hua Yanyan, do you really want to kill yourself before you stop? What? Do you want to kill me? Come on. Do it. No. Killing you will only dirty my hands. You'd better go back. I have the right to refuse you entry to my birthday party, regardless of whether you have an invitation or not. Huamin, are you going to turn against me? Didn't we do it before? Huamin sneered. Fine. Since you don't welcome me, then, as your sister, I have to prepare a gift for you. Then Hua Yanyan took out a stack of photos from her bag and waved them in the air. The photos scattered on the floor. They were photos of Xinjiani and Huasi. But they weren't photos of Xinjiani and Huasi. Their faces were either covered in blood or their eyes were wide open. It was like a horror movie. Some of the onlookers stepped back in fright and cursed Hua Yanyan for being a psycho. Of course, these photos were photoshopped. Her purpose was simple. She wanted to disgust Huamin. Su Yu couldn't help but clench his fists. Damn it. This woman is crazy. How dare she show such horrifying photos to a pregnant woman? She's up to no good. I'm going to smash her pig head. President Su, calm down. Let's wait and see. Han Yueyao stopped him. She grabbed Su Yu's hand and asked him to look down. Qin Chu cared about Huamin the most. No one loved Huamin more than he did. But at this moment he didn't do anything. He just stood behind Huamin and watched quietly. What did this mean? Did he not care about Huamin? Of course not. It could only mean that he knew what Huamin was capable of. It was true that Hua Yanyan could not play any tricks today. Her abilities were limited. It was impossible to bring in any dangerous items on the cruise ship. The bodyguards would probably discover it before she could even begin to set it up. Therefore, she only wanted to annoy Huamin. It was said that pregnant women were afraid of stimulation, so she found someone to Photoshop many scary photos of her mother and brother, hoping to stimulate Huamin. Even if he gave her a scare, he would still feel better. He just didn't expect that. Huamin lowered his head, picked up the photos scattered on the ground, and glanced at them. She raised her head and asked Hua Yanyan, "Do you think I'll be scared when you show me these photos?" Hua Yanyan didn't say anything. She couldn't figure out what Huamin was thinking. Hua Yanyan, you're really an idiot. Normal people would be scared when they see these photos, even men. But have you forgotten that I'm a doctor? I've been the first to rescue the injured at the scene of a car accident. Their wounds were so severe that normal people couldn't even look at them directly. I deal with the dead almost every day. Some were hanged, some were knocked to death, some committed suicide by cutting their wrists, and some were stabbed dozens of times with their intestines torn out. There was also one that was the most miserable I've ever seen. A woman who cheated on him had her hands and legs chopped off by her perverted husband. Her neck was almost severed as well. When she was sent to the hospital, her head was only connected to her body by a single tendon. But miraculously, she wasn't completely dead. She was like an incomplete monster. Stop talking, stop talking. Hui Yanyan widened her eyes and covered her ears as she screamed, Stop talking, stop talking. Upon hearing Huamin's explanation, Hui Yanyan was the first to break down. Su Yu almost vomited when he heard what Huamian said. Her ultimate move was truly ruthless. So Hui Yanyan, you're using these photos to scare a doctor. Are you brainless? Huamin smiled slightly. Chapter 3662. Psycho. Huamin, you're a real psycho. You're the same as Huasiqian. You're too scary, Hui Yanyan cursed and ran away in exasperation. The bodyguards wanted to chase after her but were stopped by Huamin. Forget it. Let her be. She spends all her energy trying to find trouble with me. If she doesn't do this, she'll feel empty. After all, it's her only mental support. This small episode didn't have much of an impact. As the VIPs entered the ballroom one after another, Huamin turned around and went upstairs. Mian, is what you said true? Su Yu was curious. What I told Hui Yanyan. Ted's arms lift. Being a doctor is so scary. Su Yu was still frightened by Huamin's description. But I made it up. Su Yu, I said it to scare Hui Yanyan. You're really talented. Su Yu was surprised that Huamin could lie. In fact, being a doctor wasn't that scary. Huamin wasn't a doctor in the emergency room and naturally wouldn't come into contact with patients who were sent to the emergency room. So, what he said just now was really just to scare Hui Yanyan. He didn't expect that not only did he scare her, but he also shocked everyone. Tang Chuan opened a bottle of champagne inside. Let's go in and celebrate. Of course, you can only drink plain water. Su Yu smiled. No problem. Then Huamin, Qin Chu, and Su Yu walked toward Tang Chuan's private room. Han Yueyao stopped in her tracks. You guys go ahead. I want to walk around outside for a while. Let's go together. We're not strangers, Huamin invited. I'm used to messing around, so I'm afraid of it. The cruise ship is so big, and there are so many fun things to do. I want to look around. Huamin glanced at Su Yu, waiting for his reaction. Do whatever you want, Su Yu said casually. Then he went in with Huamin, Qin Chu, and the others. Han Yueyao glared at him and turned to leave. She knew her position and didn't want to be like Su Yu's girlfriend. Therefore, she tried her best not to attend such occasions, which was completely different from Zheng Rou's style. Since she didn't know anyone, she decided to wander around the hall, take photos, post them on WeChat Moments, and eat. Unexpectedly, after Su Yu left, Zheng Rou came looking for trouble. Oh, you're not always with Lord Su. After all, you're his new favorite. I was wondering who it was. Sure enough, you're still following me. I told you the new one will replace the old one. Just give up. Han Yueyao didn't back down. I lived in Su Yu's house for a long time. Zheng Rou deliberately misled Han Yueyao. Didn't he not touch you at all? What's there to be proud of? He told you everything? Zheng Rou's expression changed, surprised that Su Yu told Han Yueyao everything. Needless to say, I can guess. Only a woman like you, whom he never touched, would be full of resentment. You. Zheng Rou was speechless in fury. Han Yueyao continued to take selfies leisurely, looking for good angles. Little girl, you don't have to be proud. Su Yu changes women faster than he changes clothes. Before long, you'll be his ex and end up like me. No, I won't be the same as you. I won't be full of resentment. Even if it's me in the future, we'll part on good terms. Big sister Zheng, please, don't follow me and Su Yu like a ghost. You're more active than the paparazzi. If you have time to care about yourself, hurry up and find a boyfriend and have sex with him. Look at the pimples on your face, it's obvious that your hormones are out of whack. Chapter 3663. You dare to say anything because Su Yu dotes on you. Aren't you afraid that you'll be miserable if Su Yu abandons you? That's my business. I'm a beggar on the street. It's none of your business. Han Yueyao thought Zheng Rou worried too much. You've been with Su Yu for a long time and know everything about him. So what? You must know who Su Yu loves the most. Zheng Rou smiled wickedly. I know. So what? It's not you. Han Yueyao crossed her arms before her chest, not afraid of Zheng Rou at all. She knew who Zheng Rou was, but Han Yueyao thought, even if you're the daughter of a governor and I didn't break the law, you can't do anything to me, right? Besides, Zheng Rou came here for a purpose. Of course, she thought Zheng Rou came to win back Suyu. You're so eloquent. Let's see if you dare to be so arrogant in the future. Every dog has its day. Zheng Rou sneered. Sister Zheng, I'm the one who said that. Besides, you're so pathetic. Let me give you a piece of advice. Stop pestering him. No matter what kind of woman he is, you'll wear out a man's patience if you keep pestering him. Suyu might treat you as a friend. If you keep doing this, I'm afraid he'll lose all hope in you. Save your words for yourself. Don't jump off a building in Imperial Star after Suyu abandons you, Zheng Rou cursed viciously. Don't worry. Only idiots would jump off a building. I'm smart enough to extort a large amount of money from President Su after we break up. Then I'll use the money to date a young man. Oh yeah. Zheng Rou had a glib tongue, but she had to admit defeat in front of Han Yueyao. Because Han Yueyao wasn't angry at all. She could deal with whatever she said. More importantly, she wasn't affected by anyone's words. As for her relationship with Suyu, everyone could think whatever they wanted, as long as she knew what was going on. This was her principle. Zheng Rou, on the other hand, didn't seem to see this clearly. So, she fell deeply in love with Suyu and felt somewhat painful. You'll regret this. Zheng Rou was speechless when she saw that no matter how much she said, this woman was stubborn. He couldn't be bothered to speak any more nonsense, so he turned around and left. Zheng Rou walked back and forth in the hall. Qin Chu stood on the top floor and kept looking at her. He believed in his intuition that Zheng Rou's purpose for coming here today was not simple. He seemed to be looking for something. Of course, Qin Chu didn't know that Zheng Rou had planted a high-end eavesdropping device on Huamin. Because it was used by the upper echelons of the military, it was very confidential and very high-end. Even Qin Chu's anti-eavesdropping system could not detect it. That was why Zheng Rou could walk back and forth on the cruise ship without fear. Qin Chu didn't mention this to Huamin. He just asked his men to keep an eye on Zheng Rou. They followed her secretly, afraid that this woman would cause trouble. After Zheng Rou left, Han Yueyao thought she could relax for a while and took out her cell phone to play a game. However, Lady Su came over at this moment. Yao Yao. Auntie Su, why are you here? Didn't I tell you not to let Suyu know that we know each other? Han Yueyao looked around in a panic, wondering if Suyu was nearby. It's okay. Everyone knows that you're Yu's date today. I came to say hello to you. It won't arouse suspicion. Lady Su was very smart and had thought of this. Han Yueyao smiled. To be honest, she was nervous every time she saw Lady Su because she felt there was something in the latter's eyes that she couldn't see through. How are you two doing? Han Yueyao knew Lady Su was asking about her relationship with Suyu. Chapter 3664. We've been doing well. Obviously, Han Yueyao was being perfunctory. But I heard you were transferred to the acting department. Do you really want to act in a movie? Lady Su had eyes in the company and kept a close eye on Han Yueyao's every move. I offended our captain when I was a trainee and was exiled by President Su. Exiled? If you were really exiled, how did you get a supporting actress role? I heard the male lead is an experienced actor like Jiang Yi. Auntie Su about this? It was true that Han Yueyao didn't know about it. Huan Mian had told Jiang Yi about it, and that was how the situation had developed. Han Yueyao was grateful to Huan Min from the bottom of her heart. She didn't want to act for fame, she wanted to make money. Jiang Ye's agent told Han Yueyao that this harem drama had 48 episodes. Since Han Yueyao was a newcomer and didn't get paid much, Jiang Yi offered her 10,000 yuan per episode. That meant she would get a total of 480,000 yuan for 48 episodes. These years were nothing to some of the more famous actors. But to Han Yueyao, it was a huge sum of money. With this money, she could buy a new car for her dad so he wouldn't be mocked for driving a BYD at his age. With this money, she could buy new clothes and scarves for her mom so her classmates wouldn't laugh at her mom for being stingy. With this money, she could buy herself beautiful dance outfits and dance shoes. She could also go to live performances by international dance masters. With this money, Han Yueyao could fulfill many of her dreams. Most importantly, she was the one who earned this money, so she felt at ease. But she also knew that if she did this, she would go against Lady Su's original intention of sending her to Su Yu's company. Lady Su obviously wanted to find a girlfriend for her son. She had emphasized before that her coming to Imperial Star was just a facade. It was just a facade. If she stayed as a trainee, she would never be able to debut. But now, not only was she going to debut, she was going to act in a movie with a movie king like Jiang Yi. How could Lady Su not ask? But the difference was that Lady Su was gentle even when she questioned him. This woman was different from the other rich ladies. She had her own way of doing things. She couldn't tell him that she didn't know it was Huamin who did it. That would mean that Huamin had helped him, but he had betrayed him. She would never allow herself to do such a disgusting thing. Therefore, she nodded and admitted openly, "Auntie Su, I have indeed accepted the role." But Lady Su quietly looked at the girl's delicate face. "I need money." "How much do you need? You can tell me." Lady Su looked at her. "I don't want to tell you that I'm not a beggar. I don't want to ask you for money. It's not right and it's not my money. I want to earn it with my own efforts. But if I go to work, I won't be able to earn that much in a year. That's why I took this shortcut." "I'm sorry, Auntie Su. I lied to you." "So, you plan to use me and Mion from the beginning to pave your career in film and television?" "Yes, I had this idea from the beginning." Han Yueyao admitted it all. "Very good. I didn't know that you were so scheming." Lady Su's tone was calm. "Auntie Su, I'm sorry. If you think I've hurt you or lied to you, I'm willing to accept any punishment from you. Even if you kick me out, I won't complain." "Yao, if you had to choose between acting and you, which would you choose?" Lady Su asked seriously. Han Yueyao suddenly remembered a report she had read a long time ago. It said that the Su family didn't allow Su Yu's women to be in the entertainment industry. Chapter 3665. Auntie Su, Han Yueyao was about to speak when Su Yu walked over and interrupted them. "Mom, don't make things difficult for my girlfriend." "I didn't. I just came to see her and say hello." "Really? Then why did I see Yao's smile look uglier than her crying face? Did you say something to her?" "I didn't. Don't accuse me." Like a child, Lady Su explained to her son. "Then go upstairs. Auntie Qin and Auntie Wei are waiting for you. Go play mahjong or fight the landlord. It's still early for the show." "Hey, I haven't finished yet. Don't push me." Just like that, Su Yu pushed his mother upstairs before she could finish her sentence. Then Su Yu came down to Han Yueyao. "Stay away from my mother in the future." But Han Yueyao was puzzled. "Because my mom is bewitched. She sees everyone as her daughter-in-law." How can you say that about your mom? Are you crazy?" Han Yueyao laughed. "My mom is crazy. Anyway, next time, be smart and run away when you see her. I didn't see a ghost. You can pretend you saw a ghost." "I'll tell your mom that you slandered her. Go. She's upstairs. But I'm sure you won't be able to come down in less than 2 hours. She'll nag at you." "I believe you." Han Yueyao gave up. She didn't dare to go to Lady Su. She was just bragging. "Then go to a corner and have some food and drinks. Then you can play." "What about you?" Han Yueyao asked Su Yu. "I'll go talk to some friends." Before she left, Su Yu told her worriedly, "Stay away from my mom and Zheng Ro." Yes, they were the only 2 people who could cause trouble for Su Yu's girlfriend. After Su Yu left, Han Yueyao found a corner and sat down to play the game. When Pudding passed by, she sat down beside her. "How much have you played, Auntie?" About 2 months." Han Yueyao thought for a moment. "You've already reached 700 levels in 2 months. Did you spend money to buy items?" "How could that be? My pockets are cleaner than my face. How could I have the money to buy these messy things?" It's all based on the feel of my hand. Then you're really good. I'm playing this too. Really? Little Bean, how many levels have you played? Han Yueyao tilted her head and looked at Little Bean. Level 1500. I've been playing for less than 3 months. I didn't buy any items because I don't need them. Also, Auntie, let me correct you. I'm not Little Bean, I'm Pudding. At this moment, there were only a few voices in her mind. First, this kid had only been playing for 2 months, but she had reached level 1500, twice as many as she had. She had thought she was very good at reaching level 700 because Su Xiaoxiao had only reached level 300 and spent money to buy all kinds of items. Second, this kid didn't use any items and played by herself. She was a genius. Third, she was the legendary Pudding. It seemed she had been too focused on playing the game to notice the changes in their personalities. So you're the legendary Big Pudding. I've heard so much about you. After a long while, Han Yueyao said, making Pudding laugh. Chapter 3666. Auntie, are you always this funny? Funny? Am I? I think I'm very gentle. Han Yueyao commented on herself seriously. Fine. I'll take it that you're gentle. Why don't you play with your sisters? We're like Siamese twins. What's there to play with? If you look at your own face in the mirror all day long, won't you get tired? You have a point. Compared to Little Bean, Han Yueyao found Pudding more interesting. Pudding was only good at making jokes, acting coquettishly, acting cute, and it was said that she could flatter people. Of course, Han Yueyao had to learn her skills slowly. It was said that Pudding was calm, and quick-witted. She combined the strengths of her parents and was a perfect child. Her only shortcoming was that she was too mature and smart. She didn't have the intelligence of her age, so she lost the innocence of her age. But this was also a shortcoming. She wasn't an ordinary child, she was a child prodigy. Auntie, are you from Jing City? Yeah. Then why don't you have a Beijing accent? Because I learned Mandarin. If I was a dance teacher and spoke Beijing dialect, I wouldn't be able to dance. Are you working at Imperial Star now? Pudding continued to ask. Yeah. I'm a handyman. No. You're not an ordinary handyman. You're the boss's woman, Pudding corrected her. Yeah. It's temporary. Maybe I'll be replaced one day. Han Yueyao chatted with Pudding while playing the game. He won't be replaced unless you have a purpose for getting close to him. Han Yueyao's hand paused slightly with the cell phone in her hand. Pudding's words weren't simple. She meant that if Pudding approached Su Yu with a purpose, it would be troublesome. It's good to have a purpose. If you want money, you can give him money. If you want power, you can promote him. If you want fame, you can support him. These are difficult for ordinary people, but for people like Su Yu, it's a piece of cake. Well, then what do you want? Pudding asked with a smile. She asked casually as if she was joking. She didn't feel awkward at all. Han Yueyao froze and then said with a smile, I'll draw them all. Good luck then. With that, Pudding got up and ran away. She didn't know what the child thought of her. However, she firmly believed that she was harmless to Su Yu. She had no intention of harming him and only wanted to earn some money. Would he really be hated by everyone? After warning Han Yueyao, Su Yu wanted to drink and chat with Wei Liao. But at the door of the private room, Shen Mingxi stopped her and told her to go to the deck. Because it was a shallow sea, the wind on the deck was not very strong, so it was a little cool. Why do you look so dispirited lately? Are you possessed by a ghost? Su Yu teased with a glass of pale yellow champagne in his hand. Lord Su, I want to borrow some money from you. How much do you need? Su Yu asked without hesitation. How much do you have now? Shen Mingxi asked in a low voice. I have as much as you need. Su Yu was very generous. Hearing Su Yu's words, Shen Mingxi's eyes flashed visibly. This man looked cheerful and carefree, but he was the most reliable at critical moments. My company is short of funds and needs cash flow. The situation is very bad, but if I say that I don't know when I'll be able to pay you back, will you still lend me the money? Shen Mingxi took a sip of the red wine in his glass and said gloomily. Chapter 3667. If I wanted to be so calculative, I wouldn't have given you a chance to speak from the moment you asked me to borrow money. But this time, I need a lot of money. I don't think your company has that much cash, Shen Mingxi said with difficulty. Shen Mingxi said with difficulty. He never thought that he would be in such a sorry state one day. He'd lived a life of luxury since he was a child. When he grew up, he thought he'd never run out of money. He never thought he'd be in such a difficult situation. He knew that his business partners were laughing at him. He thought about it and didn't know who to ask for help other than Suyu. After all, borrowing money was a sensitive topic. It's none of your business. Just tell me how much you need. Suyu leaned against the railing of the luxurious cruise ship and smiled at the night breeze. His attitude did make Shen Mingxi, who had borrowed the money, feel a lot better. I need about 50 yuan. 5 billion? Yes. I don't have that much cash with me, Suyu said slowly. It's okay. Give me as much as you have. I'll think of a way. No need. It's just 5 billion. I have a way. You're not going to borrow money from me, are you? Shen Mingxi asked. What else can I do? Do I have to get a loan from the bank? Suyu chuckled. I don't think that's a good idea. Wei Liangchuan, I won't ask Wei Liao. I know your relationship is tense. Suyu patted Shen Mingxi's shoulder and told him not to worry. Are you going to ask Tang Chuan? He's so close to Wei Liangchuan. I'm afraid I won't ask Tang Chuan. I only need to ask one person. Who? Shen Mingxi didn't know. Our Dr. Hua is a rich man who keeps a low profile. He's very rich. Dr. Hua doesn't have that much money. You might as well ask her husband, President Qin. No, you don't understand. My Mion is super rich. GK's money and Southside's money are all in her hands. In short, she's secretly rich. Then, is Dr. Hua willing to lend me this much? As long as she's willing to lend it to me, I'm willing to lend it to you. So you said, Lord Su, thanks. Suyu quickly raised his hand and interrupted him. Sai, we've known each other for so many years. There's no need to be so polite, it's too pretentious. I'll find a chance to talk to her later. Anyway, within 3 days, I'll transfer 5 billion into your personal account. I'll personally send the IOU to you later. There's no need for an IOU. You can use it. Let me know if it's not enough. Shen Mingxi was about to say something when he heard Tang Chuan yelling at the top of his lungs, Lord Su, come back. Come back. Let's play cards. Are you fucking calling me? Suyu said as he walked over. Shen Mingxi swallowed the words he was about to say. He was surprised that Suyu was willing to lend him so much money at a time like this. He thought he had lost Suyu's trust a long time ago because of all the things he had done before. If it weren't for the fact that he had no other choice, he would have been too embarrassed to ask. Now, Shen Mingxi was at the lowest point in his life. So, he decided to stay away from Wei Ying. Yes, he had troubled Wei Ying enough and couldn't drag her down anymore. At this thought, he walked into the hall and was surprised to see Wei Ying at the door. But Wei Ying was talking to Yi Zhaoyang. Chapter 3668. Yi Zhaoyang, tell me the truth. Did you hire someone to get Hui Yanyan to come here? Xiaoying, did you hear something? Yi Zhaoyang was a little flustered when he was asked this question. It doesn't matter if I heard something or not. Anyways, was the Yi guy in the conversation between Sister Mian and Hui Yanyan? I said it wasn't me. How many times do you want me to say it? Do you dare to swear? Ying, you've known me for a long time. Don't you know my character? I really don't know your character. Zhaoyang, do you dare to swear? Do you dare to say that you have nothing to do with Hui Yanyan? If you lie, your whole family will die. Wei Ying was furious. She wasn't stupid at all. Huamin wasn't someone who would make things up. He wouldn't implicate the Yi family, which had nothing to do with her. Huamin dared to say that in public. That meant that she had evidence. Thinking about it carefully, no one would help Hui Yanyan so easily. After all, they had to know their purpose. There weren't many famous families in the city with the surname Yi. The older generation had all retired. She hadn't heard of anyone who had anything to do with Hui Yanyan. Yi Xiaoyang, on the other hand, had been seen with a young woman. She didn't know if that woman was Hui Yanyan. But Yi Xiaoyang had the most motive. After Hui Yanyan came out, she would definitely harm Shen Mingxi. Because of Wei Ying, Yi Xiaoyang had disliked Shen Mingxi for a long time and had made trouble for him in business. Ying, even if I'm not your boyfriend, we're still friends. Why are you asking me to swear? I'm asking you if you dare or not. But Yi Xiaoyang was still a little guilty. He didn't dare to say that his whole family would die. What? You're guilty? What's there to be guilty about? Instead of suspecting me, why don't you go and save your brother Mingxi? I heard he's going bankrupt. Yi Xiaoyang did not want to swear, so he changed the topic to Shen Mingxi. Shen Mingxi looked up, stunned for a moment. Then he walked over and said, I'm sorry, I might not be able to break it because I just borrowed 5 billion from someone. You eavesdropped on other people's conversation. What kind of person are you? Yi Xiaoyang was embarrassed to be exposed, so he flew into a rage out of humiliation. I didn't mean to eavesdrop. I just happened to walk here and saw the two of you talking, so I didn't come over. Wei Ying looked at Shen Mingxi with mixed feelings. She bit her lips but didn't say anything. To be honest, she was also at a loss and at a loss. She didn't know what to do. Hee, alright then I'll leave. I won't disturb you two from catching up. Yi Xiaoyang found an excuse and ran away, afraid that Wei Ying would ask him more questions. The little bitch Hui Yanyan had embarrassed him this time and even let Huamin guess his identity. Yi Xiaoyang thought it was necessary to teach the little bitch a lesson and let her know who her master was. After Yi Xiaoyang left, Wei Ying glanced at Shen Mingxi with a cold face. Why didn't you tell me that the company is in trouble? It's a man's business. What? Are you looking down on women? Wei Ying was furious. No, I just don't want to drag you down. You've helped me a lot. Ying, I really don't want to drag you down. Look at you. You're so unkempt and unkempt. It's not like you at all. The Shen family's century-old foundation can't fall. This is Grandpa Shen's wish. Shen Mingxi, you'd better buck up. Don't worry. I won't let the Shen family fall. Shen Mingxi forced a smile. Wei Ying's heart twitched as if someone had pricked it. She opened her handbag and took out a black diamond card. Then she handed it to Shen Mingxi. He was slightly surprised. Chapter 3669. It's all I have. Shen Mingxi, including the money I made from my own business, the money my parents gave me, and the stores I sold recently, I have 50 million yuan. It's not a lot, but it can solve the problem. Can take it back? No. From the moment I gave it to you, I had no intention of taking it back. If you don't want it, throw it away. The password is still your birthday. It's up to you whether you want to use it or not. Then Wei Ying forced the black diamond card into Shen Mingxi's hand. Then she left without looking back. She was so cool that she had no friends. Shen Mingxi was dumbfounded. He hadn't expected Wei Ying to do this. But when he came back to his senses, he was quite happy. At least it proved that Wei Ying still had him in her heart. At least this way made his heart ache. There was a popular saying on the internet, women don't know if they're marrying a man or a dog until they have children. For Shen Mingxi, it could be changed to, men don't know if the woman beside them is a wolf or a sheep until they're in dire straits. Hui Yanyan, whom he used to dote on with all his heart, was now trying to kill him. And Wei Ying, who he had hurt all over, was now taking out all her savings. Shen Mingxi felt that he didn't deserve her. The better Wei Ying became, the more he felt that he didn't deserve her. Holding the black card, Shen Mingxi felt complicated. Huamin, the birthday girl, should be the busiest tonight since she was the main character. However, at this very moment, she took a break and ran to a corner. She was eating cream puffs while watching the latest Korean drama on her phone. She didn't look like the main character at all. Sister Mion. Hearing the voice, Huamin looked up. Then she smiled gently. Brat, I haven't seen you in a long time. Jia said you went back to Korea to see an old friend. Yeah. I just came back after living there for a while. You're retired and not a big star anymore, but you're still so handsome. Looking at An Ai Yang, Huamin gradually doted on him, feeling the same as when she looked at Jixin. Come on, little Jie said that I'm like a lazy uncle now. Have you considered making a comeback? Haha, you're used to being idle, aren't you? Yes, I hate the days when I'm surrounded by fans even when I go to the toilet. It's really good to return to being an ordinary person. I really like this kind of life. I'm glad you like it. Sister Mion, I have something to discuss with you. What is it? I want to find someone to deal with Hui Yanyan. Ah. If these words had come from Su Yu and the others, Huamin might not have thought much of it. However, the words that came out of Ni Yang's mouth confused Huamin. Why are you talking about this out of nowhere? That woman, her heart is twisted and perverted. She probably has someone behind her, so she won't let you go. She always comes out to disgust you. I can't stand it anymore. I don't want you to be bullied by her. She's just a small character. She can't bully me. Then I'll get rid of her for you. Silly boy, don't do stupid things. Murder is against the law. We don't have to break the law for a psychopath. Seeing that Ni Yang didn't seem to be joking, Huamin immediately tried to persuade him. No, I won't kill her. But I have a way to make her disappear forever, Ni Yang said calmly. Chapter 3670. You're not going to kidnap her, are you? Lock her up? Imprison her? Don't worry about it. Anyway, I can't let her slander you like this. Brat, what are you thinking? If I want to deal with her, I have 10,000 ways. The reason why I haven't done anything is because she doesn't pose a threat. She seems to have seen through this, so all she can do is talk. She can't do anything to me. If we really want to deal with her, it's not our business. Shin Mingxi should be more anxious than us. But, sis, don't worry about me. You'll be fine with Jia. You're such an innocent and bright boy. How can I let you do those dark things? But people like Hui Yanyan deserve it. Ni Yang was a warm man who loved Huamin very much. He wanted to do something for her. That was why he wanted to help Huamin get rid of Hui Yanyan. But what he didn't know was that Hui Yanyan was a clown and Huamin was no longer afraid of her. He even felt that she was pitiful. She was alive now, and it seemed that there was only hatred. There was no happiness in every minute and every second. As the saying goes, the bitch will be punished by God. So, let's not worry about her. Huamin optimistically interrupted Ni Yang's suggestion. Then they talked about something else. Zheng Ro was drinking coffee in the lounge upstairs. She put on her earphones and heard every word of their conversation. Huamin is so wise and magnanimous. She can even ignore Hui Yanyan. No wonder she has the status she has today. If Huamin agreed with Ni Yang, it wouldn't be her style. She wasn't a saint. It wasn't that she didn't want to get rid of Hui Yanyan. However, at such a sensitive time, if someone were to catch him red-handed, Ni Yang's future would be ruined. Sacrificing a good person for a rotten person was not a good deal. Huamin was so smart that he naturally wouldn't agree. At this time, a deep voice came from the earpiece. How are things over there? Reporting to Chief, everything is going well. The installation has been completed and we are monitoring it now. We've received a tip-off that many people are monitoring the cruise ship today. Ian and Nalo are out-and-out lunatics. You have to act according to the situation and be careful. Yes, Chief. After replying, Zheng Ro continued to drink coffee and eavesdrop on Huamin. Fortunately, Huamin was doing fine so far. There wasn't any confidential conversation. She actually wanted to hear what Huamin and Su Yu were talking about. Would they talk about Su Yu's new female companion or talk about her? Unfortunately, Huamin and Su Yu never talked in private, so she never had the chance to eavesdrop. When the program was about to start, a person's appearance brought the audience to a climax. Who's that? Yeah. My goodness. Why is she back? We didn't receive any news from the media. So sudden. She's much prettier. I wonder if she got plastic surgery. Even her temperament is better. She's different after studying abroad. Yeah. We didn't receive any news that she would come to Dr. Hua's birthday party. While they talked, they saw a woman on the other side of the spotlight. She was wearing a black velvet gown and had an exquisite face. It was Nie Lingxian, whom they hadn't seen for a long time. Chapter 3671. Huamin didn't expect Nie Lingxian to come. But when he saw the invitation in her hand, he immediately understood. Cici had asked her for it a few days ago. She had joked, "Cici, are you coming back to celebrate my birthday with me?" Cici had smiled mysteriously and said, "You'll know when the time comes." It turned out that Cici had asked for the invitation for her sister. Nie Lingxian and Huamin weren't close. She came to the birthday party for only one purpose: to see Suyu. At this thought, Huamin looked in Suyu's direction. Sure enough, he was also shocked. As Nie Lingxian's boss, he didn't know that this star had suddenly returned. Nor did he expect her to appear on the cruise ship. "Miss Nie, why did you suddenly come back? Miss Nie, why did you come back this time? Miss Nie, is there a new movie coming out? I heard that you're working with Hollywood. Is it true? Miss Nie, did you suddenly appear here to surprise Dr. Hua? There have been rumors that you and your sister have a good relationship with President Qin and his wife. Is it true?" As soon as Nie Lingxian entered, she was surrounded by some well-known reporters. This was indeed a big story. "I'm sorry. This time, I'm attending a friend's birthday party as a private guest, so I won't accept any interviews." "Thank you," she explained elegantly with a calm smile. In a trance, Suyu felt that she had become a little different from before. There seemed to be something more in her eyes. In the past, she was timid and shy. She was even shy and gentle all the time. Now, she was calm, graceful, and very good at handling situations. She even had the demeanor of a big star. But, this time, she came back, Suyu was thinking when he was interrupted by Tang Chuan. "Ha! Young Master Su, you're doomed? Zheng Rou, Han Yueyao, and now Nie Lingxian. The three women make a show. I wonder if they'll fight for you. It's going to be so interesting. Suyu, I suggest that Lord Su try them one by one and see which one has better skills." It was rare for Wei Liao to make a dirty joke. "Ha, Mr. Wei is right. I suggest you do the same. You too, are you just watching?" Suyu was exasperated. "Why are you standing there? She's from your company after all. Don't you want to go and see her?" Tang Chuan pushed Suyu's shoulder. Suyu was a little at a loss. In fact, he didn't want anything to do with Nie Lingxian. It's not good for a woman to be too stubborn. Tis Lingxian, estes is from a psychological perspective, this was titus. It was similar to Qin Chu's obsession with Huamin and Huasiqian's obsession with Huamin. Qin Chu's obsession with Nie Lingxian was because they loved each other. There was nothing wrong with that. Huasiqian's obsession was unrequited love. Nie Lingxian's was similar to Huasiqian. She seemed to have made up her mind about Suyu to a certain extent. Suyu felt that if this continued, the situation wouldn't be very good. He had clearly rejected her many times, but Nie Lingxian didn't seem to have any intention of giving up. Suyu sat there, wondering if he should get up and greet her. Nie Lingxian walked all the way to Suyu under the crowd's gaze. "President Su, long time no see. I miss you very much." Her straightforward words made Suyu blush, and the crowd was in an uproar. Huamin walked over and held Qin Chu's arm, frowning slightly. "Honey, why do I feel like there's something wrong with Nie Lingxian?" Chapter 3672. "Yeah, it's weird." Qin Chu nodded slightly. "Even you think so?" Huamin was surprised. He thought it was just his imagination, but now that Mr. Qin had the same feeling, things didn't look good. Yeah. Nie Lingxian wasn't close to Huamin, and Huamin was only close to Cici. But Cici had been living abroad with Rick for years and was pregnant. So, they could only contact each other through WeChat and phone calls. Huamin thought for a moment and sent Cici a WeChat message. "Cici, yes, Sister Mion. You gave the invitation to your sister?" "Yeah, I'm sorry, Sister Mion. I didn't mean to hide it from you. My sister said she wanted to go back, but she didn't have a good reason. I thought it was your birthday, so you know, she's always liked President Su." "Yeah, I know. I don't blame you. I just wanted to confirm it with you. Confirm what? Cici didn't seem to understand Huamin's intention. Confirm that the person who came back is really your sister. It's my sister. She came to me to get the invitation before she left. Did you see her? Yeah, she just arrived. My sister is timid and won't cause trouble. Don't worry, Sister Mion. That's not what I'm worried about. Then is there something else? Cici felt like Huamin's sudden WeChat message wasn't just for a chat. Nothing. You should rest. Huamin didn't say what he was thinking. It wasn't that he didn't trust Cici, but he didn't want to misunderstand. That would be awkward. Yeah, it's Xianxia. Cici said her sister came back with the invitation. Qin Chu nodded and didn't say more. Su Yu didn't know how to react to Xianxia's sudden enthusiasm. Yeah, long time no see. Su Yu stood up and reached out his hand, thinking Xianxia wanted to shake hands with him. However, Xianxia ignored Su Yu's outstretched hand. He didn't give him any face at all. After all, no matter how famous she was still just an employee of Su Yu, but her actions were. In short, this scene was captured by many media outlets. Su Yu looked embarrassed. Zheng Rou sneered on the side. She had heard Huamin's words and confirmed that this person was Xianxia. Su Yu, I didn't expect you to have such a day. Zheng Rou suddenly felt happy. At this moment, Han Yueyao appeared out of nowhere. She laughed and held Su Yu's arm. Big brother Su Yu, this must be the superstar that your company made famous, right? She looks pretty good in person, isn't she? Xianxia glanced at Han Yueyao's face coldly. President Su, you've changed women again. You're really fast. You're like a stamp collector. Su Yu didn't expect her to say such sarcastic words so blatantly. He stared at Xianxia carefully and felt she had become a stranger to him. Yeah, it's normal for a man like President Su to change women. It's not strange that some media outlets like to gossip. Before President Su was in a relationship, they said he was pitiful. Now that he's in a relationship, they said he changed women faster than he changed clothes. Bitches like to have double standards. Miss Nya, don't you think so? Han Yueyao's words were sharp as she argued with Xianxia. At this moment, Su Yu was grateful to Han Yueyao. As a newcomer, she had no background, no power, and no fame. But she was fearless and immediately came to his rescue when she saw him in an awkward situation. Based on this, Su Yu felt this girl had a good character. At least, she wasn't as bad as he thought. Wow, you're so eloquent. It seems President Su has liked this type of woman all these years. You've liked Dr. Hu's type, right? Chapter 3673. Xianxuan's words were getting more and more presumptuous. She had said that she was angry with Su Yu, so it wasn't a big deal to mock him. But this time, in front of so many people, she didn't know the gravity of the situation. She even dragged Huamin, who was pregnant with his second child, into the water. This was a little too weird. Superstar Nya, are you saying that your love turned into hatred? Han Yueyao chuckled. Xianxia didn't speak, she just stared at her face. I heard that you pursued your boss for a long time, but he rejected you many times. Later, you felt embarrassed and fled to study abroad. President Su didn't chase you down because you've done a lot for the company in the past few years. Not only did he sponsor your tuition and living expenses, but he also told the media that Imperial Star's doors will always be open for you. I thought, if it were someone else, even if they weren't grateful to receive such treatment, they would still be kind to their boss. What you're doing now is cutting off your path. People say that you repay evil with good. Are you repaying kindness with kindness? Han Yueyao was usually rude, greedy, and liked to play tricks. Su Yu had never thought that she would say such words one day. Huamin also looked at this little girl in a new light. Standing beside Qin Chu, she didn't intend to participate in this battle. Xianxia had been picking on Su Yu, trying to embarrass him and put him on the spot. As the boss and a man, Su Yu naturally couldn't lower himself to the level of a woman. So, he was at a disadvantage. But Han Yueyao didn't care about that. She was a newcomer and didn't know anyone. So, she wasn't afraid of anything and went all out. First, she attacked Zheng Rou. Now, she attacked Nie Lingxian. She was extremely fierce. Lady Su already had a deep grudge against Han Yueyao's words. She felt that Han Yueyao used her and lied to her. But at this moment, she was so protective of Su Yu. Lady Su felt that she was right about Han Yueyao. This girl had a sense of justice in her bones. At least, she was willing to sacrifice her own image to protect Su Yu. Of course not, I was just joking with President Su. Why are you so agitated? President Su, we've known each other for so many years. Don't tell me you don't know me? Nie Lingxian smiled and looked at Su Yu. Of course not. It's just a joke. I won't take it seriously. Hearing his words, Han Yueyao smiled. Superstar Nie, don't blame me. I've always had a strong point, and that's being protective, so I really didn't know you were joking, so please don't be mad at me for offending you. I really can't stand my boyfriend being bullied. Han Yueyao's change in attitude was astounding. Nie Lingxian was good at acting, but she was even better at it. Therefore, when she heard Nie Lingxian say it was a joke, she immediately blushed and acted like a spoiled child to Su Yu. What a bunch of dog food. Exasperated, Zheng Rou slammed her coffee on the table. If it weren't for Han Yueyao, she would have torn Nie Lingxian apart. It was Han Yueyao's sudden appearance that disrupted her plan. She hated this woman more than she did at this moment. She didn't hate Huamin as much as she did before. Of course I don't mind. Congratulations on finding such a considerate girlfriend, President Su. Nie Lingxian picked up a glass of champagne and raised it. Thank you. Su Yu didn't say much from beginning to end, but he knew Nie Lingxian had passed the first hurdle. After the disturbance, the onlookers dispersed. Huamin stood up and walked toward Nie Lingxian. Miss Nie, Huamin greeted her. Hello. Nie Lingxian smiled awkwardly. Chapter 3674. Why didn't you tell me you were coming back? I could have sent someone to pick you up. No, it's too troublesome. Why did Cici come back with you? She's pregnant now, so it's inconvenient for her. Miss Nie seems to have lost a lot of weight, and her face is more delicate and stylish. Huamin rarely praised a woman's beauty. So when he praised her, Nie Lingxian was stunned for a moment. Then in the next second, Huamin did something even more embarrassing. He reached out and touched Nie Lingxian's face. Then he smiled and said to the media, "You guys, don't write nonsense about her in the future. Miss Nie has always looked like this. She's just slimmed down. If she really had plastic surgery, her face and nose would change like plasticine, stiffen and melt. I'm a doctor, so I have the most authoritative appraisal. So this year, I'm going to clear my friend's name. She really didn't have plastic surgery. She was born this beautiful." With that, Huamin retracted his hand without a trace. Her hand was covered in foundation, but that wasn't important. What was important was that she confirmed the answer in her heart. Miss Nie, don't be afraid. I've cleared your name. Huamin looked at Nie Lingxian with a smile. Thank you, Dr. Hua. Nie Lingxian's eyes were slightly hostile. She was unhappy that Huamin touched her face like this. However, Huamin said that he did it out of kindness, so she couldn't get angry. By the way, Cici told me a while ago that she wanted you to bring back the thing for me. Did you bring it? What is it? Didn't Cici tell you? You don't know? Huamin pretended to be surprised. Yes, she told me, but I came out in a hurry and forgot. Next time, I'll bring it back for you next time. Then don't trouble yourself. I'll ask Cici to mail it to me. Miss Nie, please have a good rest and eat something. The show will start soon. Happy birthday, Dr. Hua. Thank you. Huamin maintained a smile the entire time until she returned to Qin Chu's side. Honey, you're too reckless. If you want to prove whether she's real or not, you don't have to touch her face. I was just anxious. Look at your hands. How thick is the powder? Let's go. I'll take you to wash your hands. Qin Chu held Huamin's hand as if he was scolding a child and walked into their lounge. It was very private and convenient to talk there. Qin Chu helped Huamin wash her hands with hand soap several times. Only when the smell of foundation was gone did he feel relieved. It's a pity that you're not a doctor. You're even more obsessed with cleanliness than I am. Stop being so cheeky. Tell me, what did you find? Qin Chu knew Huamin had a purpose for making such a scene. She didn't disguise herself. There's no mask on her face. Yan used to wear that kind of mask. I've seen it. There's a small gap behind her ears, but she didn't. It's also possible that she had plastic surgery. Not really. I touched her forehead and it didn't move. Then she's Nieling Xian, right? Qin Chu asked. Huamin shook her head. It's hard to say. Honey, I don't understand. You said she didn't have plastic surgery or disguise herself. Who else could she be? Qin Chu was a smart man, but he was confused. Chapter 3675. There's something strange. I made up a story and told her that Cici told her. If she's really Nieling Xian, then she should know that I didn't ask Cici to bring her anything. But she's obviously trying to cover it up, which makes me more suspicious. Hearing this, Qin Chu was completely confused. Nieling Xian was back, but the person who came back wasn't Nieling Xian. It didn't make sense. Do you want me to check her fingerprints? Qin Chu asked Gao Ran when Gao Ran arrived. Forget it. I don't think we'll find anything even if we check her fingerprints. This body is Nieling Xuan's. Huamin had touched and looked at Nieling Xuan's face, but she didn't find anything wrong. She didn't believe that two people who weren't related by blood could look exactly the same in this world. Maybe she lost her memory or something? How can she target Su Yu if she lost her memory? In fact, I don't care about her. I'm just afraid there's a conspiracy. Nieling Xian is Cici's sister. If there's something wrong with her, not only Rick and Cici but also Su Yu will be in trouble. Then we have to be even more careful. Honey, I'm starting to regret it. If I had refused Tang Chuan and Ningning's kindness, all of this wouldn't have happened. Now, I feel like there are a lot of people on this ship with bad intentions. Don't be afraid. I'm here. Qin Chu knew what Huamin was worried about. Seeing her anxiety, he pulled her into his arms. They didn't talk about Nieling Xuan's identity. But Zheng Ro heard them clearly. Right now, she only wished for the world to be in chaos, because only then would she have the opportunity to find more favorable evidence. At this thought, Zheng Ro walked toward Nieling Xian. Miss Nia, we meet again. Nieling Xian looked back at Zheng Ro with a strange look in her eyes. Don't you remember me? Zheng Ro. Su Yu's ex, Zheng Ro introduced herself. What does it have to do with me? We're both abandoned by Su Yu. Do you want to form an Avengers alliance? I saw you were scolded by Su Yu's new girlfriend. Coincidentally, I was scolded by that woman too. The enemy's enemy is unpolished jade, right? What do you want to say? Nieling Xian didn't seem to trust Zheng Ro and didn't know why she came to her. How about this? To show my loyalty, I'll give you a piece of important news. You can trust me. What is it? Do you know why Huamian's face? Nieling Xian didn't say anything and just stared at Zheng Ro. Because he suspected you, then the conversation between Huamian had a conversation with Huati Tessis. After hearing this, her expression was obviously not right. How did you know about our private conversation? You don't need to know. But I didn't lie to you. You can tell if I'm telling the truth or not. I can tell you clearly that I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're real or have amnesia. As long as you're willing to work with me to deal with Su Yu's new girlfriend, who do you think you are? You want me to work with you? Nieling Xian sneered. Chapter 3676. Zheng Ro was surprised that Nieling Xian didn't appreciate her kindness in telling her the secret. You really don't know what's good for you. Nieling Xian glared at Zheng Ro and didn't say another word. Rebuffed, Zheng Ro had no choice but to turn around and leave. She didn't want to be embarrassed here. On the other side, Su Yu took Han Yueyao back to the place where he was playing cards with Tang Chuan and Wei Liao. Lord Su's new lover is very busy and energetic. Nieling Xian must be dumbfounded by the explosion. Tang Chuan chuckled. Nieling Xuan's personality has changed drastically, Wei Liao said. Old Wei, you noticed it too? What do you mean I noticed it too? Even if I think with my toes, she wasn't like this before. Did she split after being stimulated by you? Damn it. How can there be so many split personalities? Do you think they're all Huasiqian? Su Yu chuckled, although he found it strange. But he could understand why Nie Lingxian was angry with him. After all, she was a girl who had done so much for him but received no response. Su Yu, you have to reward your little girlfriend. If she hadn't protected you just now, you would have been torn into pieces by Nie Lingxian. Tang Chuan reminded him with a smile. Su Yu suddenly took out his wallet from his bag. Then he opened it and took out a stack of cash. There were about 5,000 yuan. Here, take this as a reward for your performance just now. Su Yu thought Han Yueyao should be happy. After all, she loved money so much. But Han Yueyao was slightly surprised when she saw the money. She didn't expect Su Yu to use money to send her away. At this moment, it was as if a bottle of mixed feelings had been knocked over in her heart. She couldn't describe them. She needed money and wanted to earn more money, but she wasn't a money-minded person who only cared about money. She wasn't someone who would do anything for money. Just now, he had stepped forward to help Su Yu out of his predicament, and it was not for money. Therefore, when Su Yu thanked her with bright cash, she was stunned. What's with that expression? You think it's too little? I didn't bring much today. Take it first and I'll give you more later. Biting her lips, she took the money slowly. Then he squeezed out an unnatural smile. Thank you for the tip, President Su. Then he turned around and ran. Hey, Lord Su, what are you doing? That's not very good, is it? Tang Chuan couldn't stand it anymore. Who would treat their girlfriend like this? It's okay. Han Yueyao loves money. She's probably laughing somewhere. She often extorts money from me. Look at her clothes and bags. They cost more than 200,000 yuan. I bought them all. Su Yu didn't really know her, so he didn't know what she was really like. Therefore, in order to thank her for helping him out just now, he simply gave her money. Unexpectedly, the money hurt Han Yueyao's self-esteem. After showing off for a while, Nie Lingxian lied that she wasn't feeling well and asked the staff for a room to rest. After entering the room, she took out an instrument and checked that there were no bugs. Relieved, she turned around and sat on the sofa. Then she took out her phone and dialed a number. Hello, boss. I've successfully boarded the ship. Yes, I saw target number 1, Huamin, but he seems to be suspicious of my identity. Nie Lingxian picked up her phone and reported in fluent American English. Chapter 3677. Qin Chu and Huamin didn't know that there were many people with unknown identities and motives on the ship. Obviously, most of them were here for Lu Yen. Su Yu played cards for a while and then got off the ship to the entrance, and was still waiting at the railing at the entrance. It was windy at night, and he was only wearing a black t-shirt, which looked very thin. Are you still going to wait? President Su. And looked back and saw Su Yu, and he immediately perked up. The show is about to start. Go in and watch the show. Whether Lu Yen comes or not has nothing to do with whether you wait here or not. Su Yu thought and was a bit stupid. Lu Yen wouldn't come just because he was waiting here. On the other hand, if Lu Yen wanted to come, even God couldn't stop her. It didn't matter where and was. In other words, a small shrimp like An couldn't affect a queen like Lu Yen. And looked down at his watch. You go in first. I'm going to wait. At this moment, An's stomach rumbled, and he lowered his head in embarrassment. Why are you waiting? Come in and eat something with me. Su Yu pulled in, or more accurately, dragged him all the way to the cruise ship. He dragged An into the hall and pointed at the dazzling array of food. Hurry up and eat. If you want to wait, wait until you're full. I don't care about your nonsense. Don't worry, boss. I'll eat now. Seeing that his boss was so concerned about him, and knew what was good for him. Thus, he decided to eat something in the main hall. At this moment, An bumped into Little Bean, who had come to look for food. Little Bean was famous for being a foodie. In Zhu Lingling's words, although Buyuan wasn't thin, he wasn't overweight either. Ever since Gao Buyuan started hanging out with Little Bean, his weight had skyrocketed. Little Bean loved sweets, junk food, chocolate, potato chips, Häagen-Dazs, and so on. To sum it up, She loved everything that was high in calories. Therefore, on the cruise ship, the 4 children were clearly separated. Wei Yunchu and Pudding played games for a while, chatted for a while, drank juice for a while, and then went to the plywood to get some fresh air. It was very romantic. On the other hand, Little Bean and Gao Buyuan's style was like this. Buyuan. Have you ever eaten strawberry cheese? No, is it delicious? Try it? Alright. Buyuan. Which do you think is better, banana chips or potato chips? I haven't eaten it before. My mom won't buy it for me. Come, I have everything here. Give me a good review after you eat. Alright. At this moment, Little Bean was bored and came to the hall to order some fruit salad. She didn't expect to run into an uncle and, good girl, Little Bean. You seem to have gained weight recently. Uncle and, if you keep talking like this, you won't have any friends. No wonder your girlfriend ran away and was speechless. Come on, let's hurt each other. Little Bean held the sofa proudly. She had been born for more than 3 years, but she had never been convinced by anyone before. Of course, except for her sister. Okay, I won't tease you anymore. Come here, Uncle Lin has something to ask you. Go ahead. Little Bean walked over slowly to Anne's side. Because of their good relationship with Su Yu, the 2 children were very familiar with an, Little Bean, I actually want to ask you. And deliberately lowered his voice. You want to ask if my auntie will come today? Little Bean finished his sentence for him. Chapter 3678. Ahem. How did you know? Come on. The whole world knows that you like my auntie, okay? And, Little Bean, is your auntie coming today? Anne asked in a low voice. Although he was talking to a kid, he still felt embarrassed. Come closer and I'll tell you. Little Bean beckoned at him and said mysteriously. Excited, and moved closer and put his ear close to Little Bean's mouth. I heard that even my mommy doesn't know if my auntie is coming today. And, isn't that obvious? It's as good as not saying anything, and didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Who would have thought that he would be fooled by a child despite his reputation? Ha, don't be silly. Uncle Lin, you're the cutest when you're silly. And, okay, I won't tease you anymore. I'm going to eat salad with boy. Really? You shouldn't have asked. And stood up dejectedly. Forget it. Since you're so impatient, I'll tell you. According to my analysis, my auntie will come tonight. Why? And looked at Little Bean in puzzlement. It's because my aunt and my mommy are very close. Every time my aunt comes to my house, she chases my daddy to sleep in the study and snatches my mommy's bed. Tell me, with such deep sisterly love, how can she not come to celebrate mommy's birthday? She only comes once a year. Really? And chuckled. Absolutely. Ha. Hearing what you said, it's very likely that she'll come. Anne's mood improved a lot and he seemed to have a lot more hope. But Uncle Lin, don't be happy too early. But hearing the hidden meaning in Little Bean's words, Anne's heart sank again. If my auntie comes this time, I guess she won't come alone. She has a boyfriend. Do you know that? I heard. That uncle is super handsome and super cool, with a head full of silver hair, just like the main character in anime. You definitely can't compete in looks, nor can you compete in wealth. He's a century-old aristocrat. If you compete in martial arts, you'll have to see. After all, I've never seen Uncle Chiao fight. You're stabbing me in the heart again. Anne's smile was uglier than his crying face. No, I'm asking you to accept the cruel reality. So, don't be happy that my aunt is here. She's bringing people here, and you'll definitely be tortured. All right, little ancestor. You're making me want to jump into the Yellow River. If you say that, I'll continue to scold you. Little Bean put the fruit platter aside and put her hands on her hips. And was speechless. You've been with handsome Su for so long. Haven't you learned from him that he won't give up? Look at him. He's been in love with my mom for so many years. Even when she's pregnant, he's never given up. But you've only been in love with my auntie for so long. What else can I do? Do I have to fight him fairly? Little Anne was amused. A fair duel is unlikely, But if you can beat my aunt, I think you still have a chance. Forget it, I'll just jump into the Yellow River. She wanted him to hit Lu Yan? Was she kidding? Wasn't that just asking for a beating? He heard that Lu Yan's close combat skills were among the top 10 in the world. Otherwise, she wouldn't be so domineering in the mercenary world. After being tortured by Little Bean, and was no longer in the mood to continue eating. He went to Su Yu's private room to continue watching them play cards. Huamin was a bit tired and wanted to go back to his room to rest for a few minutes and change his clothes. But to her surprise, as soon as she entered the private lounge, she saw that thing, and her face turned pale with fright. Chapter 3679. Huamin saw. There was a wedding gown hanging in the room. It was the one she had asked Xianxia to throw away during the day. It was the blood-stained wedding gown that Huaxiqian had personally designed and sent to her. Why is it here? Huamin wasn't a timid person. She wasn't afraid of the wedding gown, but Huaxiqian's split personality. This damn thing was following her like a shadow. What did that prove? Either someone was behind it in Huaxiqian's name, or Huaxiqian was back. Yes, he was back. Huamin picked up her phone in a panic and called Xianxia. Jia, come quickly. I'm in the innermost private room on the 3rd floor. Less than a minute after she hung up, Xianxia ran up, panting. Sister Mian, what's wrong? What happened? Why are you so flustered? Xianxia had been Huamin's assistant for a long time and knew her well. She was a calm person and would never be so agitated. But just now on the phone, her voice was clearly uneasy. Little Jia, look, Huamin pointed at the white wedding gown hanging in the room. It was a blood-stained white wedding gown. Xianxia was scared out of her wits. She quickly covered her mouth to stop herself from screaming. Sister Mian, how did this happen? Who let it in? Jia, think carefully. I asked you to throw the wedding gown away. Where did you throw it? I threw it in the trash can in our hospital. Did someone follow you when you went there? I deliberately chose a remote place and threw it in a deserted place. That trash can is taken away every afternoon to be disposed of. How could it be? Sister Mian, do you think it's the same gown? I'm not sure. It's hard to say. But what I'm sure of now is that someone came into this room. That person did everything for me to see. Sister Mian, wouldn't you be in danger? Why don't you go back first? Xianxia was scared as well. Huamin had been pregnant for so many months, and there weren't many days left before she was due to give birth. If anything were to happen on the ship, the consequences would be unimaginable. It's okay. Don't tell anyone about this, and don't tell my husband either. But I think it's safer for you to know. No, I don't want him to follow me and live in fear. At this point, I don't care if he's a human or a ghost. I don't care why he's trying to be mysterious. I'm going to find out. Then, Huamin and Xianxia removed the blood-stained wedding dress. Then, Huamin put her in a black plastic bag and watched as the bag was thrown into the sea. This time, this damn thing wouldn't come back, right? What Huamin didn't know was that while she was doing all this, there was a pair of eyes staring at her in the dark. After throwing away the wedding dress, Huamian went to the surveillance room. In order to ensure the safety of the ship, Qin Chu had already ordered people to install surveillance cameras in every corner of the ship. A young lady. Seeing Huamin, the security guard in the surveillance room stood up immediately. Show me all the surveillance cameras on the 3rd floor. Every single one of them. Yes, a young lady. Then, Huamin stood behind the security guard and watched him skillfully check the surveillance cameras. He had been watching them since the morning. The staff came and went, but there was nothing suspicious. Until just now, there was nothing suspicious. How is that possible? A young lady, did you lose something? Seeing Huamin's pale face, the security guard asked anxiously. No strangers went to the 3rd floor? Huamin asked again. No, a young lady. You saw it yourself. Only 2 maids cleaned the room. No one else entered your room. Hearing this, Huamin panicked even more. Then, how did the wedding dress get in there? Chapter 3680. A young lady, what did you lose? We'll help you find it. The security guard tried his best to please the hostess. No, I didn't lose anything. Thank you. Seeing that the surveillance cameras didn't find anything, Huamin didn't want to waste any more time. He turned around and left the surveillance room. Gao Ran arrived a little late. He had planned to come earlier with Zhu Lingling and Gao Boyuan. However, there was a sudden murder in the city, so he had to go take a look. When he arrived, the entrance was almost sealed. Chu, you're here? Is the case okay? It's fine. It's just a group of hooligans fighting. One of them died. The victim and the suspect are both very poor. One is dead, and the other turned himself in and is willing to go to jail. It's much simpler. That's good. Chu, why do you look so worried? What happened? Did I? Of course. Gao Ran was Qin Chu's best friend. They had known each other since they were young. Therefore, other than Huamin, only Gao Ran understood Qin Chu's subtle expressions. Gao Ran, how many men do you have? You mean the police force? Not counting the night patrols, there are about 45. Can you transfer them over? Transfer them over? As an entrepreneur, I'll apply for protection from the police. Ask all your men to come over. What's going on? Is someone attacking your ship? Gao Ran joked. I have a feeling that tonight won't be peaceful. Qin Chu couldn't describe the feeling. Perhaps it was because it was too quiet. It was so quiet that it was a little strange. Up until now, nothing had happened. This shouldn't be. Because Huamin's identity had been exposed. They celebrated their birthday in such a grand manner on a cruise ship. Those people wouldn't be indifferent, be it Ian, Huasiqian who escaped, or the mysterious masked men who came later. Their motives were clear. But until now, the ship was eerily quiet. This made Qin Chu very uneasy. Of course, Huamin didn't tell Qin Chu about the wedding dress. If he did, he would be more careful. Your men are all here? Gao Ran glanced at Qin Chu's men who often worked for him come. Huamin's bodyguards and South Hill Manor's bodyguards come out. It was like they were going to war. They're all here. Could it be that someone is here to cause trouble? It's hard to say, Qin Chu said simply. Then I'll call them now. Seeing Qin Chu's serious expression, Gao Ran knew he wasn't joking. Now that Huamian was pregnant, it was normal for Qin Chu to be nervous. Therefore, without hesitation, Gao Ran called his superior for instructions. He said that there was a large-scale party here, and to maintain order, he needed to send people over. Of course, the higher-ups agreed, because Gao Ran was the one who did all the dirty work. When he got the credit, the higher-ups had to take responsibility for it. So, Gao Ran's application was easily approved. 8 p.m., the large-scale show officially began. Tang Chuan and Qin Ning prepared it personally. It was as luxurious as the New Year's gala. There were crosstalks, skits, acrobatics, singers, and dance performances. It was very exciting. After the show started, everyone gathered in the hall one after another. Huamin was still looking around uneasily. What's wrong? Qin Chu put his arm around her shoulder. Honey, Xianxia is missing. Chapter 3681. Hearing Huamin's words, Qin Chu realized that he hadn't seen this woman for a long time. I'll send someone to look for her. Don't alert her, Huamin reminded him. Be careful too. After the couple had a low-key discussion, Qin Chu stood up and led his men to look for Xianxia. Huamin stayed to watch the show. To be honest, she had been anxious all day. She wasn't in the mood to watch the show or the songs on the stage. Mommy, Pudding sat down at some point. What's wrong, Pudding? You don't look well. Are you tired? I'm fine. Is your brother being naughty? Pudding thought it was the second baby in her mommy's belly being naughty. He's very good. Mommy is really fine. Then Mommy, have a puff. Pudding picked up a cream puff and handed it to Huamin. Huamin ate it from his daughter's mouth. Then, Pudding left in relief. Huamin looked down at his phone. There was no response. He looked around. Everyone seemed to be engrossed in the show and didn't notice that someone had come to the boat. When Su Yu sat down and watched the show, he realized that he was so close to Han Yueyao. There was only one person between them. Hi. Su Yu called her. What's up? Han Yueyao's attitude was extremely cold. Come sit here. Su Yu, helpless, Su Yu said to the person beside him. Get up. Let's switch seats. Seeing that it was Su Yu, the female audience member in the middle didn't argue and quickly switched seats. Su Yu stood up and sat down beside Han Yueyao. Did you eat tonight? It's none of your business. Damn it. Are you crazy? You're so angry. Su Yu didn't know why she was angry. Did you eat gunpowder? Be careful of the explosion. Stay away from me. Oh, little girl. Don't push your luck. You should play less with Xiaoxiao in the future. That damned girl doesn't know anything else, but she's a good teacher. Su Yu complained. Yes, Su Xiaoxiao, this niece, made him worry a lot. When Su Yu's father had asked him to bring his daughter to Imperial Star, he had refused. Because in the family, they had long heard that Xiaoxiao was a devil incarnate. However, Su Yu's grandfather had spoken, so he had no choice but to do so. In the past year or so, this girl had caused a lot of trouble. The strange thing was that Su Xiaoxiao never made friends. She was always alone and hung out with those hooligans. Su Yu was surprised to find that he was so close to Han Yueyao. Xiaoxiao is doing very well. You seem to be the worst in the Su family. Su Yu, madam, I didn't piss you off today, did I? I just returned you a few thousand yuan. Who cares about the ocean? Do you think that nothing can be solved with money? Then you don't want it. Take it back. Su Yu reached out his hand. You just pooped and sat back? Su Yu, hey, you're a girl. Can you pay attention to your image? How can you say something like that? Su Yu didn't know whether to laugh or cry. When Han Yueyao was rude, she was quite violent. For people like you, I'll say whatever I want. Damn it. What's wrong with you? Weren't you protecting me a moment ago? My brain was damaged just now. Now I'm normal, Su Yu. Okay, I won't talk to you anymore. We can't have a pleasant conversation anymore. Seeing Han Yueyao's attitude, Su Yu didn't dare to say more and continued watching the show while eating sunflower seeds. At this moment, a tall masked clown appeared on the stage and began to perform magic. The atmosphere was lively. He even made a rose in front of everyone and handed it to Huomian, who was still in a daze. But for some reason, Huomin felt this person was very familiar and strange. Ning Ning, where did you find these performers? Huomin lowered his head and asked Qi Ning, who was sitting beside him. Chapter 3682. They were all contacted by Tang Chuan's friends. Some of the more famous ones used Lord Su's name. Qi Ning didn't realize anything and didn't know why her sister-in-law was so worried. Oh, I see. Huomin was still absent-minded. Sister-in-law, what's wrong? Is something wrong? Qi Ning looked at her sister-in-law's subtle expression and guessed. Nothing, I'm just asking. In fact, Huomin didn't want more people to know about the things that made her feel uneasy. So, she sat in the first row and continued to watch the show. The clown on the stage seemed to be very popular. Everyone applauded and he played a variety of tricks. But, Huomian had a feeling that the clown was staring at her the whole time. She even had the urge to jump on the stage and take off the clown's mask. She wanted to see what kind of face was under the mask. On an island in Southeast Asia, Ian was lying on the balcony of a seaside villa, drinking colorful juice. In front of him was a tablet. The screen showed everything that was happening on Huomin's birthday cruise. Look, it's so lively on the cruise, Ian said in German. No one dared to talk to him. They seemed to be used to their boss talking to himself. Huomin, this little girl. I'm really curious. She seems to have found something. Ian zoomed in on Huomin's camera and saw that she was looking at the clown with a strange expression. Master, is the clown? It's him. I'd recognize him even if he turned into ashes. But I'm curious. How did he get in? Why didn't I see him on the surveillance cameras? Maybe it's the power behind him. It seems to be a very mysterious organization. Otherwise, he wouldn't have looked down on you and Master Nalo. Hee, I hope he can take off his mask later so that I can show it to my good brother. Let him see that the old lover he has been looking for so long is back. But he went to put on the mask to see his little lover. These things have nothing to do with him. Don't think too much. We'll follow them closely. If Lu Yen appears, if that girl appears, do you believe that all the electronic equipment on the ship will malfunction? Because she has that kind of ability. Ian smiled. Having fought with Lu Yen so many times, she knew her tricks very well. It doesn't matter. Our men have already surrounded the ship. Even if there are no electronic devices, we can still sink the cruise ship in 3 minutes. Idiot, why did you sink it? I always wanted to capture it alive, Ian scolded. Sir, we will do our best to capture them all alive. Let's hope that's the case. This night is so beautiful. Let's continue to party then. Ha, Ian smiled creepily. He picked up the juice and continued to drink. He seemed to have everything under his control. Of course, he only wanted the things that were valuable to him. Whether it was Huamin or Lu Yen, they were the best hostages for him. As for the traitor Huasiqian, he wanted to talk to him. Things were getting more and more interesting. At this moment, Qin Chu and his men were searching every corner of the cruise ship for the missing Nielingxian. He and Huamin both believed that Nielingxuan's disappearance wasn't an accident but a conspiracy. Chapter 3683. The clown's performance quickly ended. Huamin wasn't sure if he was hallucinating. Before the clown left the stage, he gave Huamin a strange smile. That's right, it was a strange smile. That smile had a deeper meaning. Huamin felt a chill run down his spine. Sister-in-law, are you okay? You look terrible. I'm fine. I'm a little cold. I'll go get a jacket. With that, Huamin stood up and left. After the clown left the stage, the next performance was a famous talk show actor. This show had been very popular recently, so many people were looking forward to it. Not many people paid attention to Huamin's departure. Everyone was attracted by the show. Even Su Yu didn't notice where Huamin went. Su Yu was also a fan of this talk show star, so he watched the show attentively. Hey, do you like him? Su Yu took the initiative to chat with Han Yueyao. Damn. Don't you think his performance is funny? Su Yu was puzzled. I can only say that you're not easily amused. Han Yueyao glanced at Su Yu faintly. Su Yu, forget it, pretend I didn't talk to you. People like you don't know how to do anything else, but you're good at being a party pooper. Who asked you to ask me? Han Yueyao rolled her eyes at Su Yu. She was still upset about the money Su Yu had given her just now. But obviously, men and women would always think differently. Su Yu had already forgotten about it, but Han Yueyao was still upset and conflicted. No wonder relationship experts said that most men didn't know why their girlfriends were angry. The rest of them couldn't even tell that their girlfriends were angry. How slow were they? Although she was angry, Han Yueyao still sat beside Su Yu and didn't leave. She opened her bag and took out a bag of dates. This was one of her favorite snacks. Whether she was in a bad mood or a good mood, she would eat it because it was sweet. To her surprise, the moment she opened the bag, Su Yu shamelessly reached out his hand, grabbed a date, and put it in his mouth. Then, his eyes were fixed on the stage from the beginning to the end. Han Yueyao was about to lose her temper when she saw Su Yu laughing with everyone else. This was because the talk show actors on stage were beginning to show off their burdens. The laughs were extremely concentrated. Ha! She didn't know what to do when she saw Su Yu's silly smile at such a close distance. In the end, she didn't say anything. At this moment, Han Yueyao's was speechless. Eat? Why aren't you eating? Han Yueyao's face darkened. Damn it. You've eaten all the food. S's, Sure, Safter Su's, S right she, S. President Su, I have to hand it to you for being such a shameless boss. If eating a few of your candy dates is shameless enough, then do you believe that I can do something even more shameless? Then, Su Yu leaned close to Han Yueyao's face. She was so scared that her face turned red. What are you doing? Don't do anything rash. Han Yueyao felt her heart race. This was the first time she had seen such a weird boss. Suddenly, Su Yu raised his sticky hand and wiped it on Han Yueyao's face. The sticky feeling immediately hit her in the face. Su Yu. Han Yueyao felt like she was drunk, completely drunk. However, she knew that she had misunderstood what Su Yu meant by something even more shameless. It seemed like she had misunderstood. Backstage, at the actor's makeup removal area. At this moment, the clown was sitting in front of the mirror. He slowly raised his hand and was about to take off his mask. Huamin pushed the door open and walked in suddenly. Their eyes met, and the air froze for a few seconds. Huamin only managed to say one word before he froze. She didn't know if her guess was right. Chapter 3684. The clown in the mask smiled. It was a mocking smile directed at Huamin. Seeing this, Huamin couldn't take it anymore and shouted, "Huasiqian, I know you're back. Stop pretending." Huasiqian? It was a man's hoarse voice. It wasn't a voice that Huamin was familiar with. Huamin was shocked. Was she mistaken? That shouldn't be. She clearly felt that Huasiqian was on this cruise ship. That white wedding dress with blood. Huamin frowned slightly and walked up to the clown in the mask. She took off his mask and saw his face. Huamin was dumbfounded. It wasn't him, it really wasn't him. It was an unfamiliar face. He looked to be in his early 20s. He also looked young. How could he be Huasiqian? But through the mask, she clearly felt that this clown was. For a moment, Huamin's heart was in a mess. "You've got the wrong person, madam, sorry." Huamin lowered her head and said this. Then she quickly turned and left. Then, the clown looked at Huamin leaving in a panic and smiled proudly. After Huamin left, she suddenly felt her heart beating faster. Her sixth sense had never failed her. This shouldn't be the result. How could that clown be an unrelated person? Huamin's mind raced. What was wrong? Suddenly, a thought flashed through her mind. Then, she quickly ran back to the dressing room. As expected, the clown was gone. It seemed that Huasiqian also had helpers. The person just now was probably with him. Thinking that Huasiqian's accomplices might have already boarded the ship, Huamin's heart was once again in a state of panic. Did that mean that her family and friends were in danger? Thinking of this, Huamin turned around and opened the door to go out and look for Qin Chu. However, she was surprised to find that the door had been locked. She thought it was just her imagination, so she used more strength to pull it a few more times. It was indeed locked. This time, she finally calmed down. Conspiracy, it was all a conspiracy. Nielingxuan's return, her abnormal behavior, and her disappearance. Clown, mask, wedding dress stained with blood, all of this seemed to be controlled by someone. Huamin's mind was working quickly to sort out the cause and effect. Then, a familiar voice came from behind him. "Hello, little sister Mian." Her body jerked when she heard the voice. He turned around, and sure enough, it was Huasiqian. He held the clown mask in his hand. She felt that the person on the stage just now should be him. She had never felt so strongly before. The mysterious package she received at the hospital, the wedding dress, and the phone call. She knew that if Huasiqian didn't die, the entanglement wouldn't end. "Jack?" Huamin looked at the familiar face calmly and called out his name. "You've got the wrong person. I'm your big brother Qian." Huasiqian smiled and sat on the chair. He held the mask in his left hand and tapped his leg with his right hand. It was very rhythmic, but in this specific enclosed space, it was extremely strange. "Don't lie to me. I've known him for so many years, and I can still tell. Huasiqian doesn't have the kind of eyes you have." "Huh, what kind of eyes do I have?" Huasiqian, or rather, Jack, laughed hoarsely and asked Huamin. "I told you, although he's bad, he still has a trace of humanity. But you have none at all." Huamin looked at him calmly. Jack's eyes were filled with danger and wildness. It was the most primitive and cruel look in an animal's eyes. Huamin was right. Chapter 3685. No wonder he likes you so much. Even though you're pregnant, you're still ridiculously smart. Cut the crap. What's your purpose for coming back? What do you think is the most important thing I want to do when I return? Kill me? Huomin knew Jack hated her to the core. The biggest conflict between them was the time they spent on the deserted island. Huomin confronted him for a few days, and in the end, Jack suffered greatly. Unlike Huoxiqian, he didn't have any pity for Huomin, he just wanted to kill her. I do want you dead, but unfortunately, my boss wants you alive. Jack smiled. Your boss? Who is it? Do you think I'll tell you? The people who saved you? Huomin remembered the mysterious people who had saved Huomin from Lu Yen that night. They had landed in a helicopter and were all highly skilled. Did they capture me for the thing in my father's hands? I'm not sure about that. I'm only in charge of capturing people. It's a good time to settle the score with you. Huomin, my boss said to capture you alive but didn't say I can't cripple you. You little bitch made me suffer so much. Tell me, how should I deal with you? Should I cut off your hands first or pull out your tendons? Jack stood up and threw the clown mask on the ground. Huomin leaned against the door tightly. Oh, that's not fun. I'd better take out the bastard in your belly first. I heard that a 6-month-old fetus can be made into soup. It's very nutritious. If you dare to touch my baby, I'll make you wish you were dead. Huomin glared at Huoxiqian fiercely. Yes, no one could touch her baby. It was a mother's instinct. Make me wish I was dead. Do you have the ability? Don't expect your husband to come and save you. He's playing hide-and-seek with Miss Nya right now. He's not in the mood to care about you. Sure enough, you're in cahoots? Huomin finally confirmed her guess. She didn't know what method these people used. But something was wrong with Nya Lingshuan's return this time. At first, she thought it was just to see Su Yu, but it turned out that Su Yu wasn't Nya Lingshuan's purpose. Your husband isn't stupid, but he was still fooled by such a simple trick. Huomin, let's see who can save you this time? Jack walked closer to Huomin. Huomin was afraid of Jack because his second personality was a psychopath who was almost crazy. He was capable of doing anything. After fighting with him several times, Huomin was traumatized. That was why she felt uneasy the whole day when she saw the blood-stained wedding gowns. What was to come had come. She thought she would be afraid, but at this moment, she felt much more at ease. It was as if she had finally faced this moment. Huoxiqian, do you think no one can save me other than my husband? Don't you know that my sister is here too? Huomin smiled and said word by word. His eyes were full of laughter, mockery, and confidence. You said Lu Yen is on this boat? Do you think she won't come on my birthday? Don't lie to me. We've received confirmation that Lu Yen didn't enter the country. Who is Yen? If you can find out that she entered the country, then she's not the omnipotent Lu Yen. Huomin's hearty laughter made Jack wary. His face darkened as he tried to figure out the truth of Huomin's words. Chapter 3686. Just as Huoxiqian lowered his head and was distracted, 2 silver needles appeared in Huomin's hands out of nowhere. She stretched out her hand and threw the silver needles. Huoxiqian didn't expect Huomin to be so nimble. When he saw her before, she still looked weak and delicate. But now, she could use so much strength to throw the silver needles several meters away. When Huoxiqian was hit by the silver needles, he suddenly realized what was going on. So, this is your scheme. Lin Fan was stunned. There's anesthetic on them. You'll pass out in less than 10 seconds. She was very confident in Huomin's own anesthetic. Is that so? After speaking, Huoxiqian raised his hand and pulled out the 2 silver needles that were stuck in his arm one by one. With a clang, he threw them on the ground. Huomin counted to 10 in his heart. The anesthetic was so strong that even an elephant would feel it, let alone a living person. But 10 seconds passed, and Huoxiqian was still standing there. Are you surprised that I'm fine? Huomin was indeed surprised. That's because someone injected something into my body. Your anesthetic doesn't work on me. After speaking, Huoxiqian suddenly pounced on him. Huomin reacted quickly and dodged to the side. But after all, she was a few months pregnant and was still a little heavy. Just this one move was enough to make her pant. She knew that if she continued to deal with Huoxiqian like this, she would really be done for. Would the child be in danger? Huamin tried to calm himself down and think of a solution. Just then, the door was suddenly kicked open from the outside. The person who came in raised his gun and fired. But Huasiqian, also known as Jack, reacted quickly and dodged. Hubby, seeing that it was Qin Chu, Huamin was completely relieved. Qin Chu glanced at Huamin. Seeing that she was fine, he was finally relieved. Then he continued to fire at Huasiqian. Huasiqian and his men had probably done something to the room long ago. That was why when he saw Qin Chu enter, he was shocked. Then he slipped out of the side door. However, this was the sea. No matter how he ran, there was no way he could leave the cruise ship. You guys, continue the chase. Search floor by floor. If you see any dangerous people, kill them without asking for permission. Qin Chu ordered coldly. Yes, President Qin. A few highly skilled bodyguards followed his orders and chased after him. Qin Chu hurried over and picked up Huamin. Honey, are you okay? I'm fine. You came just in time. Otherwise I would have been in trouble. How can you still laugh? Qin Chu was furious. This woman was getting more and more out of control. He was almost scared to death, but she was still laughing here. I'm fine, aren't I? Hubby, how did you know I was in danger here? When I went to find Lingxian, I thought it might be a trap. So, I came back to ask the bodyguards to protect you, but I didn't expect to find you missing. Ning said she saw you coming toward the dressing room. I see. Hubby, you're so smart. I have to give you a thumbs up. Don't give me that. When we get home, I'll teach you a lesson. Qin Chu's face was dark. By the way, did you find Lingxian? Not yet. Qin Chu shook his head. Hubby, she's with Huasiqian. Many of them must be on the cruise ship. What should we do now? I think everyone here is in danger. Huamin had a lot on her mind. If everyone was in danger because of her birthday party, she would feel guilty. She suddenly regretted it. Why did she have to celebrate this stupid birthday? Chapter 3687. There should be more people on the ship, Qin Chu concluded after thinking for a while. What do you mean? Honey, do you mean there are more people? Qin Chu didn't speak and just nodded. Huamin frowned slightly. The situation seemed to be getting more and more complicated. He had thought that Huasiqian and his accomplices were on the ship, but now it seemed that more people with complicated identities had sneaked in. Their target should be Huamin. At least for now, Huamin was the most valuable person on the ship. Honey, it's windy here. Let's talk somewhere else. Qin Chu picked up a blanket from the dressing room and put it on Huamin. Then he held her and walked out of the room. Huamin was puzzled. Why didn't the strong anesthetic he made work on Huasiqian? Did he take the antidote in advance? It didn't make sense. How could there be an antidote for the anesthetic? And Lingxian, whose temperament changed drastically tonight. She didn't look like she had lost her memory, but she was different from before. Could it be that she was being threatened? Was she forced to do this? Huamin had a lot of questions in his mind, but he couldn't ask them, because Qin Chu's meaning was obvious. Besides Huasiqian, there were people from other forces on the ship. So he had to be careful when talking to Qin Chu because he didn't know who was eavesdropping on him. At this moment, Zheng Ro was talking to her superiors secretly in a corner of the room. Chief, that's what happened. So Huasiqian is really on the ship? The chief asked. I've been eavesdropping on Huamin, so I know everything that happened in the dressing room. I'm sure it's Huasiqian. No one in the world would mistake Huamin for someone else. Trust me, Chief. Zheng Ro reported excitedly. After such a long time, she finally got something. Huasiqian is here. Then the force behind him. The chief paused. Could it be Ian and Nalo? Did they come to China as well? No, there's no way I wouldn't know about them entering the country. Plus, the people who saved Huasiqian last time couldn't have been Ian and the others. By the way, Chief, I just heard Huamin told Huasiqian that Lu Yen is here. I don't know if it's true or if he's lying. Huamin say that himself. Yes, he said it himself. But I didn't get any news that Lu Yen has entered the country. You know Lu Yen is very resourceful. She might have used some other means. Then, have you found any suspicious people now? If Lu Yen is here, she'll show up. Then I'll keep an eye on Huamin. If Lu Yen is here, she'll go to her sister. Once you find Lu Yen, report to me immediately. Yes, Chief. Keep in touch. After reporting, Zheng Ro felt much better. After keeping an eye on Huamin for so long, she finally made some progress. Now, she just had to wait for Lu Yen to show up. When Qin Chu and Huamin returned to the hall, they acted as if nothing had happened. The performance on the stage was still going on, and everyone was engrossed in it. Huamin picked up his cell phone and sent a message in the private group. Huaxiqian and his accomplices are on the ship. We're trying to capture them. It's dangerous outside. Don't leave the hall. What's going on? Tang Chuan felt like his head was going to explode. What did it mean for Huaxiqian to sneak in on such a day mean? Chapter 3688. Gao Ran, are you guys okay? Huamin, we're fine. Jiang Xiaowei, when did this happen? How long has he been here? Huamin, I'm not sure. It should have been a long time. Wei Liao, it's just Huaxiqian. I don't think we're scared. There are so many people here. Qin Chu, he's not alone. He has accomplices. Wei Liao, how many? Huamin, I'm not sure, but Nie Lingxian is one. Su Yu, what? Su Yu thought he saw wrong, or that Huamin had typed wrong. Huamin, you're right. Nie Lingxian is Huaxiqian's accomplice. Su Yu, that's impossible. Mian, Nie Lingxian isn't that kind of person. I know her character. Huamin, Lord Su, it's not about her character now. Nie Lingxian's matter? It's complicated. Even I don't understand it. Anyway, she's a dangerous person now. Please be vigilant. Zhu Lingling, damn it. Huaxiqian, that bastard, still dares to come back. I'm going to chop him into pieces. He bullied Mian for so long, and now he's here to cause trouble. Zhu Lingling and Huamin had known each other for many years. Back then, she knew that Huaxiqian always harassed Huamin. That was why she didn't like that psycho. Now that she heard that he still dared to come back and cause trouble at a time like this, she was furious. Gao Ran, honey, calm down. Zhu Lingling, I can't calm down. I have to kill this bastard today to prevent future trouble. Gao Ran, as the family of a high-ranking officer in the Public Security Bureau, you shouldn't kill this and that. It's not good. Zhu Lingling, I'm willing to. If you don't like it, you can resign. Gao Ran, Huamin, ahem. Excuse me, guys, this isn't the time to argue. I've discussed it with Mr. Qin. We must tell everyone about this as soon as possible. Huaxiqian's target. I think he's after me, but I can't guarantee that he won't hurt my friends. Mr. Qin's already asked the bodyguards protect the 4 children and the elderly. Tang Chuan, what's important now isn't whether he can escape or not, but how many accomplices he has. If they really do something extreme, such as planting bombs on our cruise ship, we're done for. Master Tang's imagination was running wild. Huamian was silent. Should we dock the ship and evacuate the people? Qin Chu, I've already asked people to check. There are no custom-made bombs. Don't worry. Huaxiqian doesn't even have a gun. So, we don't need to panic. We can't dock the ship. That will make it easier for them to escape. Gao Ran, Chu, are you saying that we're going to catch a turtle in a jar? Qin Chu, we can't let him go. Huaxiqian is no longer scary. What's scary is the power behind him. Jiang Xiaowei, I agree with Mr. Qin. Huaxiqian is a disaster. We can't hide from him. We have to eliminate him. Su Yu, leave it to me and the 2 of us are enough to deal with Huaxiqian. The ship is only so big. He can't run anywhere. Huamin was about to refuse when Qin Chu agreed. I'll leave Huaxiqian and Nie Lingxian to you. If you run into them, you have to be careful. Su Yu nodded. Huamin looked at Qin Chu. Honey, you've left Huasiqian to sue you and... What about us? We have more important things to do, Qin Chu said mysteriously. You're tuning in to the Wang Lin's Journey YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.